Welcome to Superhuman Customs, everybody. I'm Stephen Human, and today we're going to do something a little bit differently. Normally I do, McFarlane toys with DC Comics, but today we're doing a Masters of the Universe toy because I'm a Hordak fan. Ever since I was a kid, I thought the Hordak was way cooler than Skeletor, and when I saw this guy, I was like, I gotta get him, but he was expensive. He was like $40. I was like, not worth it. Well, today I found him on clearance for $10, so brought him home. Now what we're gonna do with this guy is we're just gonna go through, we're gonna darken him up, we're gonna make him look a little meaner. That's what I liked about Hordak, is that he was mean looking. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna make so that the robot arm is a little bit more metallic. Just go through and make him just look like a warrior from Eternia who's gonna go and battle He-Man. So I'm super excited. Let's break him out of the box and get moving on this figure. Got him out of the box. He came with two arms, one regular arm and one like robotic arm. Now, when I was a kid, the regular one, he just had a regular arm, but I like the robotic arm, and so I'm going to stick with it. We're going to metallicize it, in just a minute. But first, I want this guy to look mean. My Hordak is mean. He's scarier than Skeletor. He's mean. And so we are going to first do a wash over his face and over some of these areas on his body, because I want him to just look mean. And so we're going to go through, and I'm just going to hit some of these places, let it dry, and then go over and start hitting some of this other stuff. Just doing, most of this stuff with him is just going to be little details, but man, I want him to look nasty. So that's what we're gonna do. Already, with just that wash, he's looking so good. What I'm gonna do now, since he's dry, we're gonna do a little bit of dry brush of this metallic blue here on his arm. I'm trying to not get it into the crevices. I want it to, highlight the outside. I want it to look a little bit more like a robot arm. And so this will be the only part of the body that we'll actually do this to. The rest of it's going to be left the same. But you can see how this wash has really just done a number. He already looks so much better than he did out of the box, where he really was meant to look like the cartoon version. And I want him to be a little bit more of a real version to match my 40th anniversary He-Man and my Skeletor. While that arm's drying, I'm going to go through here. You can see that he's got a little evil horde symbol right here, and I want it to be red. I want it to stand out. It's not just going to be black here on the side. I want it to be red, so I'm going to go through with that. I'm also going to go through here on the symbol, and I'm going to highlight some of these little ridges here with the red to kind of cut back on the wash and make it stand out a little bit, just in some places. And then I'll come through with some silver in just a minute, highlight here on the arm and here also on these ridges so that it looks like they've been scratched in battle. And I'm going to do the same here on these symbols on his boots, because again, it's just going to add some nice contrast using the magnifying glass so that I can get in really close to all the details. But it's just going to make certain things stand out, and the red is going to make him look less cartoony and more like a real scary sorcerer. Now I'm going to add a little bit of gray here, a little bit of dry brush here to his loincloth. I want to have some nice gray highlights in here so that it just looks a little bit more, again, real. Not quite so straight up cartoony. And oh, see how simple that is? Look at how big of a difference that makes. My goodness, I love this. Now we're getting to my favorite part, adding in some of these dings, these silver areas, and making it look like he's just got a few scratches here and there, a few little chipped areas. And I think that, you'd be surprised at how a little of it goes a long way. Remember, if you get too much, just catch it with your finger. I'm just going to go through here and highlight some of these areas here. And make it really look like he's been to battle with He-Man. And He-Man may have come out on top a couple of times. Doing the same thing with the mechanical hand here. Just kind of going over and almost doing a dry brush on it. Just moving it around. Making it so that it's dinged up. It's not just gray. But that it looks dirty. So I don't want it to be a clean metallic. I want it to be a dirty metallic. And the more I move the paint around, the more it will give me that look. Okay, so he's done for all intents and purposes, but I've noticed that this right here is bugging the crap out of me, that this arm is longer than this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually sand this down using my outside sander out in the garage. And I'm going to drill a hole to put this back in so that his hands are actually the same distance and it doesn't look like it's fake, you know. So we're going to do that. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my brown wash on the face here, and I'm going to add some, there's just some version I've seen online where he's a little bit more bone white, and I'm going to see if I can do that. And there we have it. Very simple, but he now looks way better than he did when he was in the box. And I'm really happy that I took the time to cut down his arm here because it was way too long. It just looked weird. And I'm glad that I darkened in his head a little bit with that wash. I think both of those turned out really, really nice and just makes him super pop. So I'm so happy with him. I didn't like the cartoon look. I wanted him to look more like the 40th anniversary He-Man. He is now going to really pop on the shelf. And he reminds me so much of the Hordak that I had as a kid. I'm so glad I found him for $10 because when I saw him for 40, I was like, I would like him, but I'm not willing to spend that. So for $10, heck yeah, I got my Hordak. Now I just want to get like the She-Ra. I wanted the She-Ra too, but I don't want to spend $40 on her either. So I'll be watching the clearances. That's what I do, right? So anyway, I love Hordak. I'm so glad he's a part of my collection. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I have tons of videos. Every week I post a new custom. I've been having so much fun with it over the past 6 months. I hope you have too. I'm Stephen Human with Superhuman Customs. Check out my novels at stephenhuman.com, and I will see you guys later.